the National Legends Cars Championship in association with Parc Lane Cars. Welcome along to the championship decider for the National Legends Cars Championship. Miles Rudman ahead of Will Gibson by 145 points. John Mickle's still injured, so he can't take any further part in the championship. Marcus Pett and Steve Whiteleg dicing over fourth place. And the rookie championship will go between Ben Higgins and Ollie Schlupp, with Luke Simmons in third. First of all, though, here's Nathan Anthony.
Nathan, final round of the season. The heavens have opened. There's going to be 30,000 people watching us. This is going to be quite an active day.
Very active. Unfortunately, we have got a delayed start, so we're not going to get out for a warm-up this morning. There's standing water at the bottom of Paddock, and there's also standing water as you go into Graham Hill. So it's a bit of a delayed start, which is going to cause a few problems for people just wanting to get out for the feel of the track in these conditions. I think we're going to go straight into race one at 12 o'clock.
Bit of a mixed season for you. The yellow car is beautiful livery. It always becomes a bit of a target, I think, in some of these races. But yesterday, in the penultimate round, you had some prop shaft problems. What was the story?
Yeah, we got a really good start. Found a lot of grip going around Paddock. We started near the front anyway, but we were up to thirds going into Druids. And then just as I changed down into the gear, the prop shaft broke. So I lost all drive, of course. And then we had the DNF. A great shame, and we try again in the final. In the race after that, we were involved in an incident, pushed into the gravel, and we got a puncture. We got out the gravel. We carried on to the pit. We changed the tyre, and but we were way off by then. So it's been another mixed bag.
Andy, final round of the season. It's been quite a mixed season for you, but penultimate round yesterday, fourth place seemed to be the key point for you.
Yeah, not too bad. I've missed a couple of meetings this year. Didn't do Anglesey and didn't do Snetterton, just because the start of the season didn't go the way we wanted it to. So we've picked and choose what we did this year. But yeah, good day yesterday. Not bad overall. Fourth place in one of the races. Yep.
Certainly showed you got the pace there, some good lap times, and obviously you were that close to the podium, so we've got good potential for today.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully if we get out today with the weather, but I've tweaked the car overnight, so we hadn't done the corner weights before we came, which is fundamental to the car's handling. So I was struggling a lot through Surtees and clearways, but hopefully that will improve today, and we might be able to get onto the podium.
Championship contender Will Gibson, here we are, final round. This is what it all comes down to. Now, penultimate event last time out, 500 points between yourself and Miles. There's now 145, so it's everything to play for with 600 points on the table.
Yeah, it's all to play for. With these conditions, I think it's just going to be who can keep on the track. It's a bit of a shame that it's probably going to be a lottery with the wet weather, but both me and Miles are always fast in the wet. It's been a great year, and it's down to the wire.
Race one, as luck would have it, your pole position. Well, I don't know if that's lucky or not, but pole position, how do you feel?
I think it just means I'm going to see when I'm going to crash, whereas the guys at the back are going to have so much spray they're not going to see where they're going. It's the best thing for our day. It was like yesterday. The plan was to go out, win the first race, put the pressure on Miles. There's no different today. Go out, try and win the first race, and just keep the pressure on him.
Will Gibson chasing the championship, draws pole position. He'll start off the back, of course, in race 2. Alongside Will, Nathan Anthony, Eduardo Gago Munoz on row 2 with Luke Simmons, then Ollie Schlupp and Ricky Leggett, yesterday's race 3 winner. Here's the view from the pole position man, Will Gibson. 145 points to make up on Miles Rudman. The rookie championship. Oh, Miles Rudman, by the way, back on row 6. So we won't get a potentially clear picture on positions either in the overall or the rookie championship until after race 2, when both the reverse grid races are done. But for the moment we'll concentrate on race 1, and it's Gibson and Anthony on the front row of the grid. The Savan looking keen, wonderful looking race machine that is. Ollie Schlupp in the blue and orange number 9 looking down the inside of Eduardo Gago Munoz. Down the inside goes Schlupp, on board with Eduardo, still learning his craft in Legends cars. Great move by Ricky Leggett in blue and white round the outside up into 4th place. Here comes Steve Whiteleg, inside leg for Steve Whiteleg, possibly his last Legends race for a while. He was saying with business commitments maybe next year. I hope that's not the case. Love seeing, well, all the drivers really. It's a super paddock. Luke Simmons in black and green dicing over 3rd place at the moment and trying to get on terms with Nathan Anthony from row 2. Robin Fountain in the 31 running well. So along Surtees, there goes Nick Bridge. Oh, contact! As Eduardo Gago Munoz makes contact with Miles Rudman, and that is a big hit for Rudman. If he goes into retirement, it will be advantage Gibson in the championship. Rudman is keeping going though. How badly damaged is the car? He rejoins in front of Chris Dewey, passes Eduardo again, so Miles Rudman, is the car damaged? Does that hand the initiative to Will Gibson? Remember, 10 points per place, and there are 145 points, effectively 15 race places between Miles Rudman and Will Gibson, and Gibson leads the race here. We've got the reverse grid race to come as well, but Rudman has got to do some damage limitation now and try and claw his way through the field as we watch Mike Schlupp racing hard. Here is Steve Whiteleg in 66 in 2nd place. 3rd in black and green is Luke Simmons. Ollie Schlupp wants that place. These two 3rd and 2nd in the rookie standings, and going out wide there was a little touch, I think there was, on Mark Beattie in green, and that's all it takes, a slight touch. Sometimes it could be a little blip on the throttle that could just send the car round. Thankfully Mark Beattie is okay, he'll rejoin down towards the back of the grid. Now rookie championship wise, Ben Higgins is the rookie championship leader by 55 points from Ollie Schlupp, and Ollie the chaser here looking for 3rd place. Really actually on the limit on that car, Ollie Schlupp, and controlling it well out of Clark Curve. He's going to have a look on the inside going into Paddock Hill Bend. Lovely move by Ollie Schlupp up into 3rd place, passing Eduardo Gago Munoz. So Eduardo right in the thick of it, we saw it on Cooper Straight, and again good driving from him, pulls over to the inside, allows the quicker drivers through on the outside, so giving them plenty of space. But look how crowded it is behind. This is very typical Legends racing. Miles Rudman's still going. He's at the back of this group. There he is, the black car with the yellow number 1 denoting the reigning champion. Very squirrely moment there for Rick Leggett, chasing Daniel Pooley. Rudman goes to the inside of Pooley, who's in the black and green 32. Lots of repairs affected on the Pooley Motorsport car overnight. Daniel running well but can't stop the defending champion. And here's the rookie championship leader Ben Higgins. We're on board with Ben, the Welshman, looking to increase the points lead over Ollie Schlupp. I don't think he's going to be able to do that in this one. In fact, Ollie, if he could get a podium, it'd be great for him, but also he's going to be very interested in the point score that he can get to maybe grab the rookie championship lead. The rookie championship every bit as exciting, if not more so, than the overall championship has been this year. Rob Fountain to the inside of Nick Bridgman, Jack Parker to the outside. That battle coming now up into Haywoods Hill. Parker to the inside now in blue and gold. Jack Parker, one of I think 3 drivers who have led the championship this year, and Parker comes down the hill. Rob Fountain about to make her move for position as well. 31 car goes through, runs wide on the exit. Nick Bridgman trying to go through and repay the compliment, as it were, on the run through Cooper Straight into Surtees. And sideways moment, back of shot for Nathan Anthony in the Savan. Meanwhile we go back to 2nd, 3rd and 4th place. You can see the standing water, such as it is very muddy where cars have gone off. Extremely difficult conditions here in race 1, and let's see what Ollie Schlupp can do now. Again, you can see Luke Simmons is very much on the limit, as Ollie Schlupp was earlier on. What's Ollie going to do? It's got to be the inside, because Luke's got the outside run as they come down into Paddock Hill. Schlupp from the onboard camera seems to have got third place. A little bit further back, there is Ollie's dad, Mike, ahead of Marcus Pett. Charlie Budd in white, who's been a consistent runner in the championship this year, racking up the points. He's been steadily inside the top 10 of the points all year. Nick Bridgman chasing Kieran Beattie, who in turn is down behind Rob Fountain, and Miles Rudman has caught this group. This is very good damage limitation from Miles Rudman, the kind of drive that can earn you a championship. Might not make the overall podium, but recovering from that incident around about here on the opening lap, this has been a great recovery from Rudman and could be very valuable championship points. Kieran Beattie looks to the outside here, grab the curve. Oh, Rudman's sides pass. What a great shot that was of Miles Rudman passing Kieran Beattie, and Miles just picking off the places one by one. I said it in the last programme about people can talk about performance of cars and everything else, but the wet is, to use the cliche, it's such a great leveller, and it doesn't matter what the conditions are. You'll see the likes of John Mickle, Miles Rudman and Will Gibson at the front of the field in the wet when performance isn't an issue. So Rob Fountain, look at that, with champions all here. Rudman round the outside of Robin Fountain. Robin, part-time racer these days, does most of the rounds in the championship, but business of course taking priority. Kieran Beattie around his outside, and Miles Rudman has got to the head of that group. Waved yellows there. Now is that for, it's nothing at Druids that I can see. Ah, there we go, it is Stuart McAndrew in the 43 car. So Stuart on the grass, but the waved yellows will stay there until Stuart's car is completely out of harm's way or rejoins the track, which hopefully will be the latter, as Ollie Schlupp again challenging for third position. So Schlupp and Simmons, the rookies, dicing for podium honours here. This is very much what you would expect to see at the end of a racing season for rookie drivers. If not battling for wins, then podia, and certainly Schlupp's going to have another go here. This has been cat and mouse between these two. Great race between the pair of them, and Schlupp, having tried the inside a few times, now attempts the outside run on Luke Simmons. That outside line at Paddock Hill Bend worked for Ollie Schlupp, and now it's going to cement that and underline it because we've got a safety car. We're on the last lap, so Luke Simmons isn't going to get the opportunity to go back in front. So Schlupp gets a podium here. Congratulations to him. Will Gibson is going to take the win, so it's going to be safety car and checker, and there is one of the reasons why we have the safety car. Beattimon is off in the gravel. Here comes Will Gibson to record a 35th career win. Apologies to the team if I got that wrong in the previous round, but 35th, he will equal Steve Thompson's career tally of 35 wins in Legends car. Steve Whiteleg second, Ollie Schlupp in third, then Luke Simmons from Miles Rudman. Rudman only losing 50 points, but that'll be a worry for him nonetheless. Jack Parker next from Kieran Beattie and Ryan McLeish. Rob Fountain in 9th, then Nick Bridgman 10th from Marcus Pett. Mike Schlupp next up from Charlie Budd, Ben Higgins and John Critchlow. Ricky Leggett 16th, then Glenn Burton-Shaw in 17th from Nathan Anthony. Andy Bird 19th. Paul Simmons wrapping up the top 20, then Dan Pooley, Luke Takushis, Chris Dewey, Matthew Knight, James Newbury, Lenny Woodcock, Bill Reid, Stuart McAndrew and Eduardo Gego Munoz completing the finishers. It means, I think, that the Rookie Championship lead has changed now, and Ollie Schlupp leads the Rookie Championship, and the lead gap, the championship, down to just 95 points.
Will lights to flag victory there, so that was fairly straightforward compared to some of the races you've got. But now it's game on for the final two races. The points difference between you and Miles is getting amazingly close.
It's unbelievably close. I can't remember a series or a championship that's been this close in Legends. You know, I think it's going to go down to the last race. It's just about not making mistakes now. If we can keep it on the island, we'll keep the pressure on, and you never know what can happen. We've got the right momentum, so fingers crossed we'll be good.
Now, if it was a typical championship, you'd be starting towards the front again, but of course we're going to mix it up, put you towards a little bit further back. But does that mean you start behind Miles?
Yeah, we'll be behind Miles. I mean, it'll be boring if we started at the front every race. So, yeah, I mean, it's Legends, it's great fun. Yeah, I think we're pretty much last row, so got it all to do. Just need to miss the cars and miss the carnage.
Steve, another second place. You must be pleased with that, but a little bit frustrating end to that race, really, under the safety car.
Yes, it was, but You know, it is what it is. We need to keep safe, don't we? The recovery teams had to get the car off the outside of the circuit because obviously it was in a dangerous position. So yeah, unfortunately finished under safety car, but as you say, another second place, I'll take that.
Final event and race 1 done and dusted, 3rd place. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, really happy with that. It's my first podium in any racing, really, and yeah, just super great race to do it on. Shame about the safety car, but yeah, really happy with that.
Just good pace with Steve Whiteleg as well, and he's an established driver, so it shows you actually do have the pace there and some good lap times.
Yeah, to be able to keep up with Steve that's really great, because very experienced driver, so yeah, great to keep up with him.
Time for a bit of magic now in the James Newbury garage. Two-Mater transforms into his younger self. JustGiving.com fundraising team Two-Mater is the place to go to show your support.
Chris, great to see you here at the final round. You and I know each other from the karting days of many successes. The transition into legend seems to be a successful one, and you and Matt run a team car. How's the season gone overall from your point of view?
The season's been up and down. We started off quite well with a brand new car this year. And then my teammate, I did the first couple of rounds, and then my teammate did the middle rounds of the season. And then we've just run into a bit of bad luck towards the end of the season, really. And it doesn't seem to be going my way. But we'll keep going, and it'll come to us at some point.
Looking at the skies, it's more of a rallycross than a typical straightforward race. But I mean, I know you race well in both sets of weathers.
Yeah, I don't mind the wet at all. I'm actually struggling this weekend quite a bit. I think the tyres that we've got with us are just not up to the weather. So we're doing what we can with the car, trying to get a little bit better. But I am struggling this weekend, so I've not got too high hopes.
Mark, busy weekend. I've been trying to catch up with you for a while now. Final round of the season. First of all, with your Park Lane Cars hat on, I mean, it's been a really good, successful season. Thanks to Park Lane Cars being the series sponsor, and great exposure for all. We're going into even better in the 2023 season.
Yeah, we're just pleased that we could do it. It's been nice to be able to support the series and obviously promote our business. But it's been a good season all round for everybody, I think. There has been some ups and downs, specifically with us, but we're still here, and we're looking forward to next season. As you say, we've had some good news, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I remember you and I were talking this time last year when we were talking about putting the season together, and it's worked really well overall, and from a championship point of view, it's grown yet again from strength to strength, and encouraging yet more drivers. We're getting near maximum grids.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that has helped being televised. The production's been amazing. We've been so happy with that. The feedback we've been getting has been amazing. The amount of views is unbelievable. So it's strengthened everything. It's done really good for us, and I'm hoping that it's attracted a lot of sponsors for the other drivers as well, which was, part of the intention.
Needham on pole position, and Kieran Beattie alongside. Row 2, Luke Takushis and Jack Parker. Marcus Pett on row 3 with Andy Bird. Miles Rudman on row 7. So it was mid-grid. He was on row 6 in the first race. Championship, Miles Rudman leading Will Gibson by 95 points. Ollie Schlupp, now the rookie championship leader from Ben Higgins, with the gap 45 points there. We are ready for the penultimate race of the year. It is close in the overall and the rookie championships. Let's see what Chris Needham can do from pole position, but he's got a very determined Kieran Beattie, who finished 7th in race number 1 from the back of the main grid in race number 1. And we go racing here. Marcus Pett dives to the inside in grey, on board with Ben Higgins. Oh, Miles Rudman. Oh, was that Miles getting crossed up, or was it a little bit of camera angle? Possibly a little bit of both. So Miles has a dent in his championship points race 1, but not as big as it could have been, using the outside at Druids as they head down to Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. And it's Kieran Beattie the leader, Jack Parker second, Andy Bird in the black, white, green is in third place, Chris Needham fourth, Chris making that comment that maybe his tyres aren't up to the job here. Ollie Schlupp now looking, having gained the Rookie Championship lead in race 1, looking to extend on that as Luke Simmons goes all over the grass and will have to rejoin a little way back. So disappointment for Luke Simmons. Looks like he will secure 3rd in the Rookie Championship. There's the ex-Gerald McCosh car there, the 72. Glenn Burtonshaw now custodian of the car, which is great. And then having some good racing this weekend as Miles Rudman looks to the outside. Again, he seems to be forever around the 31 machine of Robin Fountain. Sweeps on the outside, now chases Chris Needham up the hill, will go on the inside run. He's got the overlap, so should get the positions to go into Druids. Meanwhile, Andy Bird challenging for the race lead on the outside. Ben Higgins going wide. Ben, of course, trying to get points back from Ollie Schlupp. He is ahead of Ollie in this one. 45 points, the gap between the pair of them. It's going to be nip and tuck on the rookies going into, if it stays like this, going into the last race of the season. And Miles Rudman making good ground. Here's the view from the second place man in the Rookie Championship, with Paul Simmons in 51 challenging him. Super camera that. Oh, Kieran Beattie gets it all sideways. Jack Parker is in second place. There's Marcus Pett now in 3rd. Andy Bird, Miles Rudman next up. So slippery here. Very tricky conditions. But these guys will give it their absolute all through the 3 races. So it's Kieran Beattie looking for a maiden race win. On board with Ollie Schlupp. You can see how tricky conditions are from what's being thrown at the camera. That is of course going into the driver's face as well. Past Charlie Budd goes Ollie Schlupp, also on the inside of Luke Takushis. Luke starting on row 2, finished 22nd in race number 1. Race leaders, nobody really making a breakaway at the moment. Steve Whiteleg on the outside. Steve Whiteleg incidentally got 4th position in the championship, back off of Marcus Pett in race number 1. There's only 20 points between him and Marcus at the moment, so that to be decided. Steve, though, is the Masters champion for the older drivers. And Chris Needham, who we heard from, jointly with Gareth Sheridan, are the team champions this year. So that's where you've got a car shared by 1 or more drivers. Look how close it was in front there as Will Gibson looks to try and make his way through. 31 car of Andy Bird was on the dirt there, but recovered superbly did Andy Bird. There is Ben Higgins in 20, Will Gibson in the 57. Now, whereas it was damage limitation for Miles Rudman in race number 1, I think it's going to be here for Will Gibson in race 2, because he's a fair way back. There's the black and blue car. We were looking at him as Two Mater back with us. Change of livery from race number 1 again from James Newbury. The team working so hard this weekend for their support of the Motor Neurone Disease Association. And Brands Hatch, thanks to Brands Hatch for recognising them as the recognised charity of the weekend as well, which is great news as Steve Whiteleg goes on the outside run here. Outside leg not making too much progress at the moment, but still in the mix as they come down the hill. 71 is Ryan McLeish, one of the guest drivers from Scotland, having a very good run as well. So Two Mater, there he is in the younger bodywork, chasing Eduardo Gallego Muniz at the moment, and also in the 321 car, Leonard Woodcock, and Bill Reid has a spin. So, well, Two Mater was ahead of him, or Two Mater as we should call him, was ahead of him. Kieran Beattie goes on the dirt and loses the lead. The race leader runs a little bit wide. Is that a farewell to a maiden win for Kieran Beattie? He's got back on the gas very quickly, actually, has recovered well. We've got Ryan McLeish now up into 3rd place, the white car. So Ryan McLeish goes in fact for 2nd place. There is Ryan in the 71, through on the inside. What a wonderful shot from Kieran Beattie, and just goes to show how the outside line can work in the wet. Up into Druids, is McLeish on the inside? Yes, he is, and through, the Scot through into 2nd place. Meanwhile, just a tad further back, Ben Higgins side by side, not anymore, with Ben Higgins. Look at the car control. This is absolutely superb shot of Ben working the wheel and defending that position from the man 2nd in the championship. Will Gibson, most wins of all of the drivers in the championship so far this year, goes into Surtees. Ben and a spin for Rob Fountain. Fountain facing the wrong way. Thankfully nobody collects him though. on board with Ollie Schlupp, chasing for 7th position. Steve Whiteleg is ahead of him, and here comes Youth challenging experience, and Youth I think is going to get the better run here into Paddock Hill Bend. And Ollie Schlupp in the blue and orange K-Seal car goes through and passes Steve Whiteleg. Meanwhile, race leader Miles Rudman. Nothing else Miles can do here apart from get fastest lap. You don't get any points for that. On board with Ben Higgins. A great shot there because Ben is being challenged by the man who leads the rookie championship. Those two have toed and froed in terms of the rookie championship lead all season, and they're fighting it out again in this one. Schlupp at the moment 45 points to the good coming into this race over Ben Higgins. Rudman the leader, the white 71 car, the Scotsman, the guest driver, not scoring championship points, Ryan McLeish, but a great drive from Ryan nonetheless in this one. Rest of them fighting it out over potential podium positions, and at the moment Kieran Beattie in orange is in 3rd, Jack Parker 4th, Marcus Pett is next up, passing Alistair Calderwood, another of the guest drivers down from Scotland this weekend. Across the line they go, Kieran Beattie at the head of this group, in car with Will Gibson into Paddock Hill Bend, looks on the inside of Marcus Pett, as you'd expect from those two. Good clean racing. Marcus will be looking to see where Steve Whiteleg is. I think Marcus might be on course to regain 4th position in the championship standings again. Kieran Beattie coming under pressure now from Will Gibson. Jack Parker immediately in front. All these guys dicing for position. Gibson on the gas, very quick. Out of Druids, down into Graham Hill Bend. Makes the pass on Beattie in orange. That's the blue and gold out front at the moment of Jack Parker, the man from Wolverhampton, who heads this gaggle. Will's teeing up the inside, gets a good run. Not perhaps enough momentum to pop up the inside. Runs a little bit over the dirt, uses all the curb there. So too does Jack Parker as they go through McLaren. Now up into Clearways. This long right-hand corner which leads them through Clark Curve onto the Bradham Straight, the main straight here at Brands Hatch. And Will Gibson biding his time. What he will know here is that Miles Rudman could well be extending the championship points lead back out to in excess of 100 points, which means he just really needs to finish in the top 10 of the 3rd race of the day. But the key word there, of course, is finish, which, as we've seen today, is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. This is Nick Bridgman. Bridgman side by side with Charlie Budd. These guys running, I think, around about 15th, 16th position at the moment. Valuable points to be had from those two. Kieran Beattie now in the clutches of Ollie Schlupp. Meanwhile, Marcus Pett makes the move on Jack Parker, cleanly through on the inside. Parker gets on the gas out of Graham Hill Bend, little nudge on the back bumper of Marcus Pett. And here's that view from Kieran Beattie. Along the straight, is Kieran going to be able to pass Jack Parker as well? Good look at the MRF tyres logo on the back of Parker's car, as again they kick up the grass, which next time you come to Brands Hatch will be back to immaculate next time, courtesy of Jonathan Palmer's team here on the Motorsport Vision run circuit. The vision is always immaculate from Jonathan and the team. McLeish still 2nd. Miles Rudman is there in the lead. Now Will Gibson is going to pass Kieran Beattie here, and that is significant for Gibson because that puts him 3rd on the road, but 2nd place points. He'll only lose 15 points to Miles Rudman. Rudman will pick up 200 if it stays like this. Gibson 185. It will take the lead over 100 points, which could be crucial in the last race of the day. Now, what about the rookie championship? There is Ollie Schlupp, who again is well ahead of Ben Higgins in this race. He's looking to try and pass Kieran Beattie side by side, and Schlupp driving around the outside of him here. Sometimes more grip on the outside in the wet. Kieran Beattie giving him a run for his money though. Great race between the pair of them, and Ollie Schlupp is going to extend the rookie championship lead into the last race. It's going to be advantage Schlupp for the rookies, advantage Rudman. As Will Gibson goes over the dirt, it is still very, very tricky out there. Rudman's got the fastest lap of the race. That was a couple of laps ago. Gibson is going to take 2nd place point. 2nd on the road will go to Ryan McLeish, but Miles Rudman takes another win after the scare in race number 1. Rudman back on the top step of the podium. McLeish 2nd place championship points though go to Will Gibson, who crosses the line there just ahead from Marcus Pett, who I think might be back into 4th in the championship. Jack Parker in 5th, Kieran Beattie 6th from Ollie Schlupp, who is top rookie, then Steve Whiteleg and Andy Bird. Glenn Burtonshaw, the guest driver in the ex-Gerard McCosh car, completing the top 10. There's confirmation of that. Miles Rudman got fastest lap, maintained that to the end. Paul Simmons was 11th from Chris Needham and John Critchlow. Nick Bridgman 14th from Luke Takushis and Charlie Budd. Chris Dewey in 17th from Ben Higgins. Down in 18th, Higgins with work to do in the final race of the meeting. And then Robin Fountain from Daniel Pooley in 20th. The other finishers, Mike Schlurp, Nathan Anthony, Ricky Leggett 23rd from Lenny Woodcock, Eduardo Gago Munoz next from James Newbury, Stuart McAndrew, Bill Reid and Alistair Calderwood. Down to victory lane though.
Miles, at long last this weekend, a well-deserved win, I think, on that one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a tough weekend so far. We just had a few issues, and yeah, it's been pretty challenging up until now. So nice to get a win under our belt and yeah, get back to where we normally used to be.
Pretty treacherous conditions out there. I mean, it's a big grid anyway, really bad weather, probably the worst we've had this season. And your mechanics have been working full time, but sort of getting it right.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's been pretty busy in here for us this weekend. You know, obviously, race one was pretty hectic for us because we got put in the Armco and bent all the back of the car. So, yeah, we had a lot of work to do to get it back out for the second race, but we managed to do that. And yeah, you know, it's been pretty challenging up until now. So, yeah.
Now, current champion, we're coming now to the final race of the season in front of a massive crowd. Started the weekend with a slight more buffer than we've currently got. I mean, yourself and Will are very closely matched. 110 points going into this last race. Mathematically, it can still go either way. You can't count your chickens yet, sort of thing. But it's good it's gone down to the wire after 40-odd races.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've had like a challenging weekend, so we've lost quite a lot of points through no fault of our own. But yeah, it's you know, made it more interesting for the spectators, and you know, it's kept me on my toes, and yeah, it's down to the last race, and let's see what we can do.
Here with Phil Cooper, owner of the Legends Cars Championship. Now, Phil, very busy weekend. I'm glad we've had time to catch up with you. Final race of the season coming up, and firstly, 2022. What a season it's been. Some almost packed grids at every event, and some very exciting point systems as we go down to the last race.
Indeed, it's been a fantastic season, starting at Alton Park in freezing cold April. We finish up the next race here at Brands Hatch. It's been raining like hell. However, I believe the sun's going to be out in time for our last race, and that'll put a few blinders across them when they come down the back straight. It's been fantastic. Down to the wire, to the last race of a 15-round championship. It's not only the champion overall, but also the rookie champion, both of which will be decided the last race of the season. I don't think it's ever happened in my 28 years of history.
And considering how many races, we've had, what, 45 races, I think it is, in the season. I mean, that is incredible, especially with the reverse grid format and so forth. And clearly what we've seen in the last 5 races so far this weekend, a real crowd pleaser.
Absolutely, we have entertained non-stop. We've had more fans than ever before. We've had amazing television throughout. Thanks to Digitex, your good selves. It's been superb. We have followers galore that we've never even heard of before, and they're all applauding us, and no doubt they're all screaming on the banks today.
Just for a moment, 2023, even more exciting news coming up. Just tell us about it.
What a bonus that is. Yes, we've been invited to take part as guests on the touring car package for 3 events, which we are over the moon about. We're going to be here at Brands Hatch in May, then we go to Croft later on in the year, and then to Knockhill in Scotland. So 3 amazing events, and of course we will be on terrestrial television, where hopefully we'll pick up many more followers who will then turn to our website and log on to all the video programming that we have provided on that website via YouTube over the course of the season. And no doubt we can also almost command our own audience to turn up to the racing.
1 race still to go. I know you've got a lot to do before it comes up, so thanks very much for your time, and let's see how it plays out.
And so the last race of the 2022 season about to get underway. Well, they said the sun was coming out. I can't see huge amounts of it. Still wet and slippery out there. Pole position then in this one to Lenny Woodcock, Eduardo Gego Muniz alongside. Then Nathan Anthony and Ricky Leggett on row 2. Luke Takushis, another of the top rookies from this year, had a great rookie season as Luke, with Chris Needham next to him. And then it's Mike Schlupp and Ben Higgins on row 4. Coming down towards the line, 110 points, Miles Rudman is clear over Will Gibson. Ollie Schlupp 125 points clear of Ben Higgins, but Ben has, you have to say, a little bit of an advantage here, starting nearer the front. Ben Higgins on row 4 as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. Ricky Leggett takes the race lead around the outside. Up into second goes Chris Needham. The spray is flying, so too are the top 3, and Ben Higgins is up to third and challenging for second place on the outside. Ben Higgins means business here for sure. Tucks back into third place. Eduardo is in 4th position. I hesitate to say that they are all through Paddock and Druids safely. Look at the hordes of cars. This is a sight that's going to greet the British Touring Car Championship fans next year, as you've already heard from Championship Director Phil Cooper. And they are going to be royally entertained for sure. Look at the spray. Look at Rick Leggett. Is he going to be able to do what he did in the previous round and take the win in race 3? Not if Ben Higgins has anything to do with it. Higgins splashing his way through and trying to get on the inside. Leggett goes very wide and Ben Higgins goes through. There is the view of the race leader. Higgins the leader, Ricky Leggett in second. Now Will Gibson second in the championship, 110 points down on Miles Rudman. Where is Rudman? Probably in the mirrors. He's coming up to have a look at Kieran Beattie in the 33. Beattie's had a super day here today. Beattie on the inside run here. Gibson on the inside about to challenge Nathan Anthony, and Gibson is coming through the field very, very quickly indeed here and about to make another pass. On board still with Will Gibson coming up Haywoods Hill towards Druids, chasing Andy Bird. There is Andy in the 30 car, Mike Schlupp in behind, then Nathan Anthony, Rick Leggett in the 26, the orange car of Kieran Beattie running well. Ryan McLeish there ahead of Ollie Schlupp. So Ollie in blue and orange leads the rookie championship here. He's got a good gap, 125 points, the gap between himself and Ben Higgins, who of course is at the front of the field at the moment. But remember, 10 points per place effectively, so Ollie will continue to make progress. Gibson on the dirt, Andy Bird is as well, so Gibson passed him as Ryan McLeish in white 71 goes through, the Scottish driver, and Rick Leggett coming under pressure from Rob Fountain, who tags the back of the car, and then tags is collected by Ollie Schlupp, who has gone off. Now, are we going to see Schlupp rejoin? Marcus Peck goes through, Steve Whiteleg's got off in the gravel as well and carries on. Now Steve Whiteleg has been passed in the points by, now Ricky Leggett's back on. We'll come back to all of the issues in a moment. Chris Dewey's car is parked up there, but I cannot see that Ollie Schlupp has rejoined as Lenny Woodcock gets all crossed up on the gravel. Keep going, Len. He does, he keeps going. That was a good recovery from Leonard Woodcock there to get back on track. Here's a replay. So Ollie Schlupp is behind, so Fountain tags Leggett and then gets collected by Ollie Schlupp. And there's confirmation, he's in the gravel. I don't think he can move. So the rookie championship is going to come down to where Ben Higgins finishes in this race, which we'll come back to. The cars are still racing on. Ryan McLeish up ahead of Kieran Beattie. So much standing water. McLeish through and past Mike Schlupp. Kieran Beattie follows through. Andy Bird immediately ahead of this group, and of course Will Gibson in the mix as well. There is Miles Rudman back of shot, doing enough to hang on. And we're going to have the safety car scrambled, which will give us a little bit of time to get reflected. Problems there for Daniel Pooley, tyre rubbing on the bodywork. Now, yesterday we caught up with James Newbury to tell us about his fundraising for Motor Neurone Disease Association. He's changed livery again. There he is with the younger livery. Let's hear from James.
So very sadly, my father died from motor neurone disease Christmas 2020. But as a result of COVID, none of our family could get to see him. So we actually had the whole year of him being in a nursing home and in and out of hospital, and we weren't allowed to go anywhere near Dad at all. So that made it much, much harder. but there's been a lot of publicity over the last few years. Rob Burrows, the rugby player, us in this, and we hope that just by raising awareness for Motor Neurone Disease Association, we can get some support, we can get some people giving to the Just Giving page, which is Team 2 Mater, and hopefully raise a lot of money. Our target is £1 for every mile we've raced this year. If we could exceed that, that would be fabulous. So far, last night we were at 56% of the target. I'm really rather hoping over the course of the weekend we can put a 0 on the end of the target, which would just be superb. MSV, Brands Hatch have been superb. They're supporting us all weekend. They're allowing us to collect as charity of the weekend. Hopefully it'll be fabulous. Hopefully we can raise a lot of awareness and indeed a lot of money for MNDA to do research into why this happens and stopping it.
Great effort from James Newbury this weekend. They've changed the bodywork on the car between all the races to go to the earlier look of the 2 Mater car. There is the number 9 of Ollie Schlupp, not the way we wanted the Rookie Championship to end up for him, but he's still got 125 points lead over Ben Higgins, who is there in the number 20 car, leading the race on potentially for 200, so could overturn that championship lead. But he's got Will Gibson right behind him. He's also got Luke Simmons in black and green in the mix as well. So the safety car hasn't really helped Ben Higgins, even though the safety car was due to Ollie Schlupp's car being recovered. And Ben has had some rotten luck this year. Ollie Schlupp has. To have it in the last race of the season is absolutely heartbreaking, and he's just got to bite his nails now and see what happens to Ben Higgins on this restart. We are in towards the closing stages of the season here at Brands Hatch. The sun coming down on the track and on the 2022 racing season as Mike Schlupp is passed by Rob Fountain in orange and white down the inside. Will Gibson challenging for the overall race lead. Up Haywoods Hill, Higgins on the outside. Here comes Will Gibson trying to grab every single point that he can. Remember, 110-point deficit to Miles Rudman, who at the moment he's inside the top 10, Rudman, so he's doing enough to claim the championship, but he'll carry on fighting all the way up the field, picking off car after car, side by side, well, momentarily, with the Savannah of Nathan Anthony. And Miles pulls away, looks down the inside run along Cooper Straight, and that's Will Gibson going across the grass. So too does Ben Higgins in second. They both survive, but that'll be nerve-wracking moments for them. Kieran Beattie up ahead of Andy Bird. Now, was there a tag or a little? They're certainly very, very close between Chris Needham, who goes off and splashes through the mud, and gravel loses a lot of places. Miles Rudman was in the vicinity there. You can see how difficult it is light-wise as well as condition-wise here at Brands Hatch to go across the line again. Kieran Beattie on the inside here to make the pass on Luke Simmons, and Miles Rudman is behind them ahead of Andy Bird. Here comes Rudman. Now Miles will know that he's in enough of a position to secure the championship, and yet he is a racer at heart and will carry on trying to get position after position as we rejoin Will Gibson at the head of the field, on for 200 points. And Ryan McLeish goes through, the guest driver. The Scotsman goes through, won't score championship points as a guest driver, and off goes Stuart McAndrew. Now, are we going to see another safety car? McLeish the leader, super drive from him. Will Gibson knows that he's the first championship registered driver, so he'll be on for maximum points here in P2. And should it stay that way, which it could well do with the waved yellows there, there'll be arguments going forward about career wins. But anyway, that's for another day. Miles Rodman trying to close in on Kieran Beattie and grab the second place championship points as we go on to the last lap. Is he going to be able to do that? Beattie passes Ben Higgins. Miles Rodman's going to try and pass Higgins as well. Higgins trying to get back. At the moment, Ben Higgins will know that he is in the position to secure the Rookie Championship ahead of Ollie Schlupp, who will be watching this one and absolutely gutted for sure. So Rudman's gone through. Rudman ahead of Higgins, and now he doesn't need to do this, Miles Rudman, but what he wants to do is race right the way to the flag. Let's see if he can get second position championship points in this race, side by side with Kieran Beattie. Look to the left, let's see if we can see the number one car. There he is, through. Third place on the road, second position championship points. And that is the sort of drive that we see meeting after meeting from Miles Rudman. Similarly from Will Gibson, who will be on for maximum championship points from this one, but will have to content himself, the man from Camberley, with second place in the championship. Rudman is going to be a three-time National Legends Cars champion here at Brands Hatch. Ryan McLeish takes the checker though. McLeish wins. Gibson maximum championship points in second. Miles Rudman in third. Kieran Beattie fourth from Ben Higgins, who is the new rookie champion. Our congratulations to him. Our commiserations to Ollie Schlupp in that last race. Luke Simmons was sixth, then Glenn Burtonshaw, great finish from Glenn and John Critchlow, both guest drivers. Nathan Anthony ninth. Andy Bird will wrap up the top 10 here from Rob Fountain. There is Ryan McLeish, and there are the two drivers that have entertained us royally in the closing stages, well, all season actually, to be perfectly honest. Will Gibson and Miles Rudman. Gibson second place in the 2022 championship, and Miles Rudman a 3 times National Legends Cars champion. Here's confirmation of the top 10 that I've already given you. Fastest lap went to Ryan McLeish, with the fastest championship runner being Will Gibson in that one. 11th was Rob Fountain from the man who secured 4th in the championship, Marcus Pett. Chris Dewey 13th from Charlie Budd and Chris Needham. Then Nick Bridgman and Steve Whiteleg from Luke Takushis in 18th. Then Paul Simmons and Ricky Legat wrapping up the top 20. Matthew Knight 21st from Mike Schlupp. Then Eduardo Gago Munoz from Mark Beattie. Lenny Woodcock, James Newbury and Bill Reed completing the finishes from an action-packed, nail-biting final race. The championship points for today's meeting: Will Gibson winning from Miles Rudman and Kieran Beattie third, ahead of Steve Whiteleg and Marcus Pett. Ollie Schlupp wrapping up our top 6. In terms of the championship, again, congratulations Miles Rudman, who nicks it from Will Gibson. John Mickle in third, Marcus Pett fourth from Steve Whiteleg, and the rookie championship, Ben Higgins from Ollie Schlupp and Luke Simmons in third. Congratulations to all.
Ben Higgins, 2022 Legends Cars rookie champion. That's got a good sound to it.
Yeah, it does feel good, especially after the season we've had. It's been so up and down, but it's just so nice to come out of the rookie championship.
That's got to have been the race of your life, really. I was watching that, and you had a heck of a lead. You've got like championship contenders on your tail as well, in a weekend where you've never driven in the rain before, and you're in front of 30,000 people. I mean, there was a lot of pressure there, but you kept a cool head and it worked well.
Yeah, it was definitely a manic race. I mean, the condition was so wet, just everyone going off and sliding about the place, but no, it's nice to have something different. I mean, we were kind of off-putting the rain really for the whole year, so it was good that we actually managed to get a race with the wet. So no, it was great fun. It was really nice to end up where we ended up.
What a season it's been, Miles. 2022 Legends Cars champion yet again. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you said that, because after this weekend it's been very challenging for us, and it's been a real mixed weekend, to be honest. But yeah, we got there in the end and managed to seal the championship.
It looks, when you started the weekend, as if you had a safe lead, but the way the points work, that could have gone any way, and you've had every bit of luck going, good, bad or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I had a good lead, but there's 1,200 points up for grabs this weekend, so anything, it can go any way really, and it pretty much nearly did. So with the electrical misfire in the second race on the Saturday, it took us a lot of points away, and then the big shunt in race 1, so yeah, it's been very challenging for us, and yeah, we managed to keep our cool and focus on the job and get it done in the end. But if I can thank Colin at Cresta Racing for all of his help towards the back end of the season, he's really helped me out. He's given me a great car. Thanks to my dad, thanks to my family, and all my sponsors, Store My Car, SulNOx, HGV. Yeah, it's been a great season.
And that, as they say, is a wrap for the 2022 season. Congratulations to Miles Rudman and indeed all of our racers on some very entertaining sport this year. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.